likes a weight cut, but let's get the update. I know you don't enjoy it very much. Where are you at right now? How much you have to go?
I have a few pounds. So.
Fair enough. You mentioned the long road back yesterday that you had. Just all the things you had to do mentally and physically. I wonder, along those ways, was there ever a time that you thought it's not worth it? Like I don't need to do this anymore.
I think at some point every fighter kind of goes through a lot of emotions when it comes to it. I've come across just all my friends in the sport, and then being with Tisha, we'll sit there and talk about different things. And obviously, being a female fighter and the toll it takes on our bodies, the hormones and everything, it gets harder, And so there's a lot of question that sometimes comes into play. I remember when I first started this sport, it was fun. It was super challenging. The weight cuts were just like, oh, let's get this done. Like, it was just something new. Now, that seriously is the hardest part. And it just, for me, like I was saying yesterday, getting the hypothyroidism now and stuff like that, I really didn't realize how much of an effect it would take. But it's hard. It's tough. And I actually started this fight camp at 170 unwillingly. I do everything that I could possibly do. I stay in shape. I've had a lot of people come to me and ask me if I've ever considered going down to 125, and it's just like, I have the Mexi roll is what I like to call it and stuff. But with how hard I train and everything, I should actually be like a walking anatomy chart. And so when those things come into play, I do kind of question it sometimes. But I feel like I still got some strength in there to keep doing it, and so I just keep grinding it out, but we'll see.
Is there medication or anything that you can take that maybe is an issue with USADA, or is there something you can take to help?
I'm currently on medication right now, but it's just kind of one of those things to where you develop it, and then obviously being an athlete and constantly playing with the weight and stuff, we're just trying to find a way to fine-tune it and what truly works for me, and since it's something so new, we haven't exactly fine-tuned it. So, there was a time during this camp where actually I started at 170. I was dropping really well. Training was going great. And then all of a sudden I started going back up in weight. So then I shot up to 162 and we weren't understanding it. So we went back into the doctors to figure things out. And then the weight's slowly starting to come off. So, I'm just trying to stay smart with everything and make sure that along the way of enjoying this passion, I'm staying healthy with it.
It may be a weird question because I don't know anybody that would turn down a UFC title shot, but you admitted it wasn't necessarily the best of scenarios for you. Had you ever regretted taking that opportunity, taking your shot?
I think everything happens for a reason, so it's kind of one of those things where I went out there. I'm completely grateful for the opportunity, so that'll never change. But, obviously the outcome, you want everything to go different. And so, but I would have liked a little bit more time. I would have liked to be able to come back and, get the feel for everything, get in the swing of things and how it all felt again. But, hey, it's not the end of the road, and it's kind of the same thing with Ultimate Fighter. I didn't win the show, but I still found my way into the UFC. I'll still find my way back to that title shot.
Last thing for me, I wonder moving forward, what would mean more to you? Another shot at the title, or maybe a chance to fight Amanda again? Is there one that means more than the other?
The ultimate goal is the title for me. I think that for me, I have different things that I want to reach. And, it doesn't matter who's holding the title. Amanda's a friend, but then obviously we have to fight, and so there's bitter feelings there. But at the end of the day, she's the one that has the title. If she's the one that has the title when it presents itself again, then of course. But it doesn't matter. It's just the title in general.
You brought up, cutting weight as a woman, hormones and everything play a factor. Sarge brought that up when she missed weight. She kind of accredited, hey, it was this month and everything. Is that something fans just don't recognize, especially female fighters?
Yeah, it's not an excuse. It's really not. Weight cutting, it's brutal. Being a female, there's different things, and when you're cutting weight, when you're fluctuating your hormones, we have reproductive organs that it takes an impact on, and it's a lot harder for us when it comes to that. And being the female athlete and going through it multiple times, I think this is my 26th weight cut. It's gotten harder each time, and with the recovery and stuff, I recover really well. But then afterwards, the way you bounce back and how high your body goes and stuff, or the different things that your body does, it's never the same. So, it's a real thing. And luckily, I have a great team of doctors who are in my corner, and I can reach out to them during off season, kind of figure things out. But I think for me, it was just a big toll when it came to it, because for one, I went from being on this streak, and then I had to take a break, to going into surgeries, which was a huge traumatizing toll for the human body in general. And then right after that, it was like one thing after another, and then hypothyroidism, and then trying to do more weight cuts. Like, it's a lot. So, I mean, it is a real struggle.
What do you think of the fight between Amanda and Cyborg? What do you think is going to
You know, honestly, I think it's a great fight. I'm really excited to see it. I think Amanda has every opportunity to win that fight. So,
What do you think the fight represents to the female MMA history?
You know, I mean, I think it's kind of one of those things to where you have two great female athletes, obviously two champions and two dominant athletes. So just kind of bringing them together and letting them clash and go to town. You know, obviously there's the weight difference and stuff, but I think it'll just really continue to help women's MMA grow, which is, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be certain weight divisions. I don't really know how to make that make sense, but I think it's a great fight.
Do you think if Amanda wins, for example, she decides to stay at 145 division, how do you think that the 135 division would follow?
You know, I don't know. I mean, a lot of talent, especially in 135. I mean, we're all here, and we all still want our opportunity to get to the top and do things. So, of course, there's going to be change. There was change when everything shifted with Ronda from being on top and stuff. But, you know, it's crazy because it's like it's a sport, it's a career, and everything we're doing. But I feel like if Amanda wins this fight, like, she's achieved quite a few things. Like, what's really next for her is kind of the question there for me. So, I don't know. I mean, at some point, when is it that you want to open a new door and see a new journey, or what do you want to kind of do? So, I don't know.
A lot of people say that Cyborg would be like the best female of the whole time. Do you agree with that vision?
You know, I think that Cyborg's done what she's needed to do. She's tough as nails for sure. But at the end of the day, she's just another human being, and I feel like, you know, I mean, I feel like she does really well at kind of beating people mentally before they even step into the octagon. So that's one thing that like really gets it, and then she just goes out there and puts on really dominating performances. I think if you have another strong athlete who steps up to her mentally, anybody can be beat, you know? So I think it's just kind of one of those things to where she hasn't been beat really ever. I mean, she has the chance to be exposed, so.
And just last question for me, the female MMA in the UFC is not that. We have 25 years of UFC celebrating, this weekend, but the female MMA era in the UFC is still like young. Which one was your favorite moment from the girls fighting in the UFC so far?
Favorite moment. You know, I don't think I can actually just pinpoint an exact favorite moment. I think just overall, the big picture of everything, just the women having the opportunity when we were able to step into the Ultimate Fighter, there was a door that opened. And then when Ronda Rousey and Liz Carmouche fought, it was exciting to actually see that opportunity be presented, and then just to see how it keeps growing, and then more talent coming about and divisions actually growing. Like, I think just in general, just the big picture for me is what's exciting.
If you could choose like a dream fight for you in the UFC history, one fight that you would like to see that had never happened, which fight would be?
I don't know, honestly. I think everybody brings a different challenge to the table. So, I mean, I'm down to fight whoever it is and whenever it is. I've never been the type to turn down any fights. So just, I mean, I like challenges, and every girl's different. So.
Is that what they would like to watch as a fan? Like a fight that you would like to watch as a fan?
As a fan, I would currently say Amanda and Cyborg.
Do you think that's a fight to determine the best female fighter ever?
Yeah, why not?
Rocky, this may be a tough question to answer because it's just hard to give any answer that may not sound like an excuse. But given the circumstances of the title shot, like when you look back on it, are you able to think like, yeah, that was me in there? Or like when you look back on like your first UFC title shot, you're like, was I 80% or 70% of who I was? Like how do you like evaluate where you were going into that fight?
You know what? I mean, like you said, it's a tough question to answer without any excuses. And at the end of the day, I took the fight. I stepped into that octagon, so I take full responsibility. And I think that every fight is kind of something to where you learn and grow from. And that was definitely a learning and growing experience for me. That fight was a lot to come back from, like I've said. Just coming back from a long layoff, lots of surgeries, coming back into everything emotionally. I had a really different kind of camp. It was a really long camp, but it was really different than what I'm used to. I'm used to being able to grind things out and do things, and they can call me in 3 weeks. I took a fight with Jessica Andrade in 3 weeks, and I was just ready to go because I had the right mentality. I knew my body then, and it was like during that time, I kind of felt like out of tune with myself, if that makes any sense. And then, it was just like I experienced some injuries going throughout that camp, and then going out there, being in a different country. I mean, it was all a cool experience, but then there was a lot of difficulties. And then I got into that accident where I broke my leg. And, I thought that everything was recovered and healed. And for me, I don't know if it was just like being in a rush to get back out and doing what I love because I was away from it for so long. But in the fight with Amanda, I mean, it was the first strike she threw. I fell on the ground, stood back up, and she hit it a second time. And it was a game changer. Like, that was not me in the octagon at all. And I can honestly say I was in a defensive mode the entire fight. Like, to watch that fight was one of the hardest fights to watch for myself, to actually learn and pick out, because it was just like, that wasn't even me in there to really learn anything. But that's why I was saying that for me, that was a big emotional thing to learn from. It was a good thing to get over some mountains and to figure things out in that aspect. And then this camp to kind of shift gear and take it, I kind of went backwards a little bit to my roots and just figured out where, what got me to where I am today and to where I can grow. And then as far as the leg, we got really aggressive with things and just doing things. So this way, that I can feel a lot more like myself this fight.
You looking forward to not having to answer questions about Amanda after a while?
Yeah, I guess. Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.